back to my channel. It's been a little bit since I filmed a video, but I am back. I am ready to upload more videos. Like I said, at least one video every week. Very exciting. Over the summer, I've been reading a lot of books, and I've always loved reading, and I thought it would be fun to do a book review video for y'all. That's something I've not done on my channel before, but I love sharing my interests with you. And so I thought it'd be fun to do a little summer book review. I've read 7 books this summer, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of give you a little bit of a review and tell you which ones I liked, which ones I didn't like. I'm a crazy person, and I always take notes after every time I read a book, so I've got some notes here, and I'm gonna give you like a little review of each one, and I hope you all enjoy. My genre of choice has always been like dystopian or fantasy. My favorite book series of all time is The Hunger Games, so that tells you a lot about my reading interests. However, I also love a lot of, and I didn't read much of it this summer, but a lot of like nonfiction. I love autobiographies as well. That's something a lot of people don't know about me, but yeah, anyway, my genre of choice has always been like dystopian, but this summer I've gotten a lot into YA and like romance and some genres I've not really read much of in the past. So first off, the first books I read, 3 books, are the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I got this for my birthday, if you remember from my birthday, what I got for my birthday video. So we've got all 3 books. We've got The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. And I love, first of all, the aesthetic of this box set and the books in general. And of course, I did read the first book at least 10 years ago, and I remember enjoying it, but I didn't really remember much about it at all, so I wanted to reread it, especially, obviously, with the series on Prime Video, which I'm obsessed with, and I've rewatched so many times with my sister, so I had to reread the trilogy. Thoughts, let me see, I'm going to go through my notes a little bit here. First of all, I said, and this kind of goes for the entire trilogy, I love Jenny Han. I love, another one of my series that I love is To All the Boys I Loved Before. I just love Jenny Han's style of writing and the way she writes her characters. The main character in this trilogy, Belly, is not Laura Jean, not as relatable, but I still love the way she's written, and she's flawed, and I love a good flawed character. She does have moments where she's a little annoying, honestly, mostly in like the second and third books, but I did really enjoy it. It's a great summer read. I would reread this like every summer just because it's cute and fun and gets you into the summer mood. I don't really want to spoil anything about any of the books, but what I'll say is I didn't particularly enjoy the ending of any of the 3 books. I'm a particular team. I won't say which one to not spoil. Even reading it, I know a lot of people are not the same, did not agree with me, but I am a particular team, and I don't like how these books ended. I think the second one was a really quick read. It was much quicker than the first and third. I think it was fun, but it did kind of lack, I don't want to say plot, because that sounds harsh, and I really did enjoy all 3 books, but the second one kind of felt like a filler, or kind of like a transition from the first to the third book, without having a lot of substance. I hope in the second season of the series they kind of do add a little bit more of a storyline. There were some sad moments, obviously. Again, I'm trying not to spoil anything. Also, it happened over one weekend, the entire book, which is kind of crazy when you take into consideration that the first and the third books happen over like summer. So yeah, that's kind of the pacing of it was a little interesting, a little different. Not my favorite of the 3. I think my favorite would probably be the first or the third for sure. I do like the second book incorporates Jeremiah's point of view. I do love a book with multi-point of views. And we do get a lot of flashback moments. I think that happens in all 3 books, but I love those because they kind of help fill in the story and stuff we obviously don't read in the present of the story. And then the thoughts on the third book. I think the third book was a good end to the trilogy. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the endings just because I am a particular team, and that did not happen. But I did like it. I think it was better than the second one. I like maybe the first one the best. I like Taylor's character in this book. She's Belly's best friend. I think in the first and the second book she wasn't super relevant, like she was mentioned. But in the third book, I really like her character. She's a really good friend. And that's all I'm gonna say on that without spoiling anything. If I had to rate each of these, and I did because I always do that, I'm kind of, like I said, a crazy person, I would give the first one, which is The Summer I Turned Pretty, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I would give It's Not Summer Without You 4 stars. And I would give We'll Always Have Summer 4.5 stars. So overall, I really enjoyed this trilogy. I love Jenny Han. I just want her to write more. I know she has one other series that I'm planning on reading, but I love Jenny Han. The next book I read, let me pull up my notes on that one, is this one right here, The Spanish Love Deception. For the most part, a lot of the books I read this summer were because I saw them on TikTok, honestly, and you know, there's a part of TikTok we refer to as book talk, and or not we, I don't know who we is, but that people refer to as book talk. And so this book was highly recommended through book talk, and I decided to give it a chance. I needed something else to read. I saw it there, I bought it. It was 20% off, so that was a perk. And I enjoyed it. So I expected it to be like a very cheesy, overdone trope. It is like a fake dating, basically. The main character, Lena, she needs someone to go with her to a wedding, to her sister's wedding, kind of so she doesn't seem so lonely. She had like a bad breakup and everything, and there's more details to that, but I won't spoil anything. And so she ends up going with her coworker, Erin, and they kind of fake date all the way to Spain. I thought it'd be cheesy and overdone. I actually enjoyed it though. It wasn't too predictable, and there was some like unexpected things that happened. I also love this book and one other book I read. Actually, the book I read right after this one, if I'm not mistaken. No, it wasn't. It was actually, anyway, another book I read. I love that the character, she's Hispanic. She's not Latina, but she is Hispanic. And I love that they incorporate some Spanish words into the book. It's just fun. And as someone who speaks Spanish, I enjoy it. Lena, the main character, was a little cringy at times, which I think I've noticed that's like a theme, honestly, among like these female protagonists. They're just a little cringy or a little annoying. We saw it with Belly. I saw it with some other characters, but she wasn't like unbearable either. She just had moments where I was like, I don't like that. But anyway, her family was really fun and relatable too. They do obviously go to Spain, so her family is there, and they're really funny, really relatable. I like them. Let's see. Oh, I did not know that this is Elena Armas' first book, and I thought it was really well done. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have guessed that this was her first book. She seems like a well-established author, which is awesome. I can't wait. There's actually going to be a sequel to this book, not the same characters, but it's following some of the secondary characters from this book, called The American Roommate Experiment, that is coming out. I will read it. To me, it doesn't sound like I'm going to like it as much as this one, but I do want to give it a chance. And oh, my one complaint about this that I actually did put in my notes, I hope this is not a spoiler, it's kind of obvious, but the main characters do end up together, like actually for real, not just pretending in the end. And I think they just really quickly went from like hating each other to loving each other. So that was like my one other complaint, is just that the pacing was not it for me, but it is what it is. The next two books I read were actually on my Kindle, which, ignore my stickers. We're not going to even talk about this sticker here because that's back when the show was good. It's not anymore. But anyway, I read it on my Kindle. I personally prefer a like real book, whether it's paperback or hardcover, but sometimes if I can find a free ebook, I'm gonna read it on my Kindle instead. So that's what I did with the other two books. Unfortunately, my Kindle's not charged. I was gonna like show you at least the covers of the books on here, but I forgot to charge it, so yay for that. But the other book that I read, the next book I read this summer, was The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. Another cute, just like little romance story. That one was a very quick read. Most of these are, I think like maybe the most was like close to 400 pages, which is nothing. You could read that like in a day. So most of these were really quick reads, but this one in particular felt like you could just like swoop through it. Again, the main character Bree was a little bit annoying at times, and again, it's a theme. Like I see it. She just had moments where she was like self-sabotaging, like a good thing was about to happen and then she would somehow ruin it. And again, another theme is like self-sabotage with these female characters. That's the one thing that bothers me throughout these books, is that it's never like the male character that's written that way. It's always the female character. I do like it. I would reread it. I think it's like a good comfort book. And by comfort book, what I mean by that, which is the same thing with Some Write Term Pretty, it's just like a book that's very like easygoing, very light, very like you can read it and not feel like anything heavy. And maybe that's because I have reread The Hunger Games so many times that it at times is a little bit heavy. So I like that those books are just very light and fun to read. It was definitely, I'll have to say, a cheesy book. Like this one, there's no getting around it. It's definitely cheesy. There was 2 overdone tropes. There was the fake dating and the friends to lovers trope, and they were not done as creatively or uniquely as the Spanish Love Deception. They were just cheesy, but I still love it, and it was fun, and it was good, and I would recommend it. And also, it's like not at the same level as a Jenny Han book, but it gives like the vibes of a Jenny Han book, so that kind of saved it for me. I would give, I forgot to give the Spanish Love Deception a rating, but I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really good book. And then for the cheat sheet, I also gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm being very generous. Clearly, I'm a very, very generous reviewer, but I would actually change it. I would probably give the cheat sheet just 4 stars out of 5. Then the next book I read, also through my Kindle, of course, was You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria. And another good book, another little like romance, kind of not too heavy. This book though was very interesting in the way that it was written. So basically the story is, and goodness gracious, I'm not going to remember the 2 characters' names. Oh, maybe I wrote them down. Maybe I didn't. Okay, Jasmine and Ashton, the main characters. They are actors. They're doing a series, and so the way it's written is based, and they play love interests in the series, so it's kind of written like a story within a story, and there's chapters dedicated to just the series and what's happening in the fictional series within the book, and then there's obviously what's happening in the book. So it's written in a very interesting way that I've never seen before, but luckily it was not hard to follow at all. I thought that was really unique. It was third person storytelling. I do prefer first person, and I think every other book I've read this summer was first person. So I'm not a huge fan of the third person storytelling. I just think like first person storytelling, you get to know what's in the character's head and whatnot. But actually it worked. I guess because there was like a story within a story, it just kind of worked. Again, very relatable. These characters were Latino. Again, family is a big part of that. And like culture as well. They do incorporate some Spanish in this book. I don't think it was as well done as in the Spanish Love Deception. In this book, like obviously I know Spanish, so I understood what was going on, but I think that if you're not a Spanish speaker, if you were reading the Spanish Love Deception, you would understand everything. But if you were reading You Had Me at Hola, you would maybe be a little bit lost as to what they were saying or what exactly was going on in particular scenes. So that was one kind of aspect of it. But yeah, overall, it wasn't bad. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not bad, but definitely certain aspects of it were not my cup of tea. After that, I read this book right here, The Stand-In. I actually had not heard of it, but when I went to buy The Spanish Love Deception, I saw this one there. It's an autographed copy by the author, if you can see that there. And so I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. My best friend, Ana Marcela, also got it, so I was like, we'll read it together. I read it half book and then half on my Kindle because I did find the PDF version of it. So yeah, this was an interesting experience because I read it both ways, which is not something I typically do. But I ended up loving this book, especially not really knowing what it was going to be about was interesting. It had actually a lot of interesting themes that I didn't expect. This wasn't just like a romance book. It was a very layered book. So let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find here. Let's see. They talked about like mental health, family, culture, toxic workplaces, fame, wealth, friendship, trust, privacy. Like I write down themes a lot too of what books are. So those are like some of the themes I wrote down. Very layered book. I mean, essentially the story is that, oh my gosh, I always forget characters' names. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, Gracie, who would be this character here on this side. She meets an actress, Fang Lee, who she's very worn out. She has like some mental health struggles and whatnot, and they look identical. So Gracie has to pretend to be Fang Lee for some events. And yeah, it is still a romance. So she does fall in love with Fang Lee's scene partner, Sam, who's another actor. But it's a really great story aside from the romance. I have a few complaints. So my complaints that it started really slow in terms of just really dragged out the beginning, and they were giving like a good backstory, but it felt a little just too much for me. And then the ending ended really abruptly. I felt like they could have taken a little bit away from the introduction and put it into the ending, because it's kind of like, I'm not spoiling, I don't think, because it's obvious, but it's kind of like they fell in love at the end. And I wish there had been a little bit more to that. I did still give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a pretty good book. I do recommend it, if not for the romance, because I think the biggest issue with it was the romance aspect of it, but I recommend it for all the other fun themes. And yeah, that's the books I read this summer. I'm currently reading this book right here, Wild Tongues Can't Be Tamed. It's by 15 Latino authors. It's I guess it's still fiction, but it's a little bit like nonfiction. It's short stories. Really great book. I can't review it yet because I'm only like part of the way through with it, but I will let you guys know what I think of it. And if you want another book review soon, I will do another one once I've read a few more books. Of course, my forever bookmark. The only issue is that it's PETA and not Gale, but this is my current read, and then I've already got my next read. I bought it because it was 20% off. Love Target. Not sponsored. I just love Target. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I heard a lot of good things about this. I think it's going to be turned into a movie if I'm not mistaken. So this is my next read. I'll let you guys know. If you want to know how this book and this book are and whatever books I read next, which I've already got a list, let me know and I'll make a part 2 to this video. I hope you enjoyed. This is something a little bit different. I don't know if it's something you guys are interested in or not. I just wanted to try doing a book review because I thought it would be sharing one of my interests with y'all, and hopefully y'all enjoyed this. If not, sorry. And yeah, back to new videos every week. After June, I usually take a little break, and after December as well, because I do a whole month's worth of videos, and it's a lot. So I need a little breather, but I'm back, so no worries there. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what book I should read next. I have a few that I'm going to read next, but what book I should read in the future. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.